You ever wake up, stroll out with your coffee, and realize your day's about to get real stupid? Yeah, that was me, standing in my driveway, blinking at a fluorescent orange paper flapping on my windshield like it was trying to escape. Bold black letters screamed, "Violation, Community Non-Compliance." At first, I thought it was a joke. Maybe a bored kid with a label maker. But then I saw the signature at the bottom. Edna Mertz, Neighborhood Compliance Coordinator. Which, I'd later find out, was a totally made-up title. She wasn't even on the HOA board anymore. Now, here's the kicker. I wasn't even parked wrong. My car, a matte gray Chevy Malibu, was tucked perfectly in my driveway. Tires behind the sidewalk. Legal. Neat. Clean. Well, dusty. But it's Arizona. Dust comes free with the air. The ticket listed the infraction as failure to register vehicle with HOA and excessive debris presence, aka dust, on a car. In the desert. While I stood there trying to decide whether to laugh or rage post on Reddit, my neighbor Rick peeked over the fence and muttered, "Oh man, Edna's at it again." Apparently, this wasn't her first strike. She once left a citation on a FedEx truck and told a high school babysitter she was loitering underage. Edna, a retired school administrator with too much time and an authoritarian streak wider than the Grand Canyon, had unofficially reappointed herself as Queen of the HOA. Armed with a clipboard, a walkie-talkie, and a toy poodle named Duke, she patrolled our cul-de-sac like a suburban dictator with delusions of grandeur. But for some reason, my car had become her new obsession. Let's rewind a bit. I'm a detective with the Chandler Police Department. I work undercover in narcotics. The car? That dusty eyesore? It's unmarked, registered to the city, and has been used in multiple sting operations. Obviously, I don't advertise that. And I sure wasn't about to flash a badge over a dumb HOA scolding. So I decided to let her dig. Let her go full tinfoil hat. And folks, she did not disappoint. Within a week, she was making compliance rounds twice a day, blowing a whistle, filming driveways, muttering into her walkie like she was coordinating a SWAT raid on a mailbox. One afternoon, I caught her squatting behind my trash bin, taking photos of my rear bumper like it was a crime scene. When I asked if she needed help, she snapped, "You'll be receiving a formal notice for nonconformity. The committee is watching." "The committee?" I asked. But she was already power-walking away in orthopedic sneakers that squeaked like betrayal. Then things got theatrical. I came home to find flyers taped to every mailbox in the neighborhood. Headline, "Unknown Vehicle Poses Community Threat." My car's photo was blown up and pixelated like a suspect from a Netflix documentary. Edna even created a QR code linking to a Google spreadsheet titled Suspicious Vehicle Log. She'd built an entire HOA surveillance campaign. License plates, blurry, timestamps, behavior notes. My favorite entry? Driver avoids eye contact. Classic narcotic signal. I mean, she wasn't entirely wrong. Soon enough, neighbors were getting reminder slips, asking them to report any strange deliveries to my house. One of them called me laughing, "Dude, you're officially a cartel suspect. Congrats." But I still didn't say a word. Let her ride this fantasy train straight off the rails. And then she did. Edna called an emergency HOA session. She set up folding chairs at the local park and rolled in a portable projector plugged into her Prius. Only 5 people showed up. One of them was Duke. She kicked off a slideshow called Domestic Decay: How Non-Compliance Breeds Criminality. One slide showed my car, photoshopped with flames and a caption, "Potential drag racer, urban threat." Another had my silhouette labeled "Non-engaging male, possible sleeper agent." I couldn't believe what I was seeing. But the showstopper? She submitted a formal HOA complaint, accusing me of running an illegal mechanic shop out of my garage because she saw me spraying WD-40 on a hinge. At that point, I'd had enough. I wasn't going to blow my cover, but I also wasn't going to let her spiral into delusion unchecked. So I waited. A few days later, she posted a notice on my door. Laminated, glitter border, crooked HOA logo at the top. It read, "Mandatory Compliance Hearing, Vehicular Disruption and Associated Behavioral Risks." Time and place? Saturday, 10 a.m. Community Clubhouse. I showed up in plain clothes, sat in the back, watched her click through another slideshow, now animated. She pointed a laser pointer at me like I was a terrorist in a Tom Clancy novel. Then she said the words that ended her entire empire. "If the board won't take action, I've called for a private tow. The truck is on its way." I smiled, pulled out my phone. "Yeah, this is Detective Marcus Reyes, badge 40178. We have a situation involving attempted towing of a government surveillance vehicle." She froze. The room went silent. You could hear Duke licking his paw. I flipped open my badge wallet and let it hang. "Ma'am," the dispatcher said over speakerphone, "that vehicle is part of a narcotics unit. Any unauthorized interference could result in felony charges." Edna turned pale, then purple. "The neighbors?" gasped. Carla, from across the street, whispered, "She tried to tow a cop car. I'm gonna need popcorn." That would have been enough. But she didn't stop. 2 days later, she returned to my driveway with 2 HOA cronies, waving a new form she clearly typed in, Word, Resident Vehicle Usage Declaration, Form 12B. It had my name already filled in. I told her she was towing the line on harassment. She told me I was threatening her. Brett, one of her sidekicks, looked like he wanted to disappear into the soil. Sharon, the other, said she just wanted to check on mailbox heights. I handed her an envelope. A legal notice from the City Oversight Division. An inquiry had been opened into her abuse of HOA authority. She clutched it like it burned her fingers. The fallout was glorious. Turns out, Edna had a long history. Before our neighborhood, she'd caused chaos in 3 others. She once cut down a neighbor's treehouse, claiming it disrupted visual harmony. She was sued, lost, moved. Rinse, repeat. City attorneys moved quickly. A formal injunction banned her from any neighborhood enforcement activities. No flyers, no patrols, no anonymous safety alerts. She ignored it. Naturally, posted a new survey on front doors. Do you feel safe from unregistered vehicles? The city hit her with a $2,500 fine. The HOA added a back bill for unauthorized purchases she made while on the board. $1,200 worth of laminated surveillance flags. Yeah, that was real. Then came the foreclosure notice. Edna refused to pay. Denied everything. Blamed deep HOA conspiracies. She held a yard sale to raise money. Only 3 people showed up. One of them asked if the flamingo on her lawn was for sale. Eventually, she packed up and left. No goodbye, no explanation, just a moving truck and a bitter little poodle. The neighborhood changed overnight. People smiled again. Kids rode bikes without fear of whistle patrols. Carla put a pink flamingo in her yard. Then another neighbor added a gnome. Then a string of solar lights that blinked "No more Edna" in Morse code. Probably. We passed 2 new rules. All future board members must pass a community empathy test. All citations must be reviewed by someone who doesn't laminate everything. And then, a newsletter from a nearby neighborhood showed up by mistake. Welcome new resident, Edna M. Attached? A photo of her, smiling. I called a buddy who patrols that district. Marcus, he said. She's already tried to ban basketball hoops. Some people never learn. But hey, that's the story of how my undercover police vehicle survived a full-on HOA meltdown. How one woman's thirst for control led her to legal ruin, and how a neighborhood took back its peace. One pink flamingo at a time. So now I've got to ask, have you ever had a run-in with a power-hungry HOA? A rogue neighbor who thought they were judge, jury, and decor police? Drop your story in the comments. I know you've got one. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you want more ridiculous but true HOA drama. See you next time, and remember, if you're gonna laminate something, make sure it's not your downfall.